Hello everybody and welcome to my yellow February reading list. I decided not to do like a TBR for each month this year because I usually don't get to read all the books I have on my TBR. So I decided to just put down books of a certain color for each month and then just try to read as many of them as I can. And so this month of February I decided to take the color yellow. I didn't really find that many books with yellow covers or spines in my TBR list, so I picked a couple out. It's not that many. One reason for it also being that it's gonna be Carnival in Switzerland in February and I'm not gonna really have a lot of time to read. So I'm not even that sad that this list kind of turned out small, in the hope of being able to read most of these books. So I'm going to show you the books I got on my yellow TBR or on my yellow book list for February. The first one I have is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. The only book I've ever read of her is Fangirl. Didn't really like it that much, so I hope I'm going to like this one maybe a bit better. I'm just trying to give her a second chance, and I also already had this book, so if I'm not gonna like it, I'm just gonna give it away, and then I guess that's been it with Rainbow Rowell and me. But I want to give her a second chance, so I'm gonna read Landline by Rainbow Rowell. The second book on my yellow list is Prettiest by Maggie Mitchell. It's really just the title that's yellow on that book. That's pretty much it, but I can't remember what it's about. I actually wanted to... the reason why I bought this is because I saw the German version or the German edition on it in the bookshop here in Switzerland. I really loved the cover of that German edition, and when I ordered it in English the cover was totally different and I'm not really liking this one. But as much as I remember, it's a thriller, but that's pretty much all I know about it. The next book I have is Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. Also not that much yellow on it, but that's the best I could do. I can't remember what this is about at all. Really, I don't. But I think it's some kind of fantasy-ish. I don't even know if it's sci-fi or dystopian or whatever. Just when I bought it, it sounded like it would be up my alley. So I think I'm gonna read this one because it's also not that big one. I think it's like somewhere around 300 pages. So I'm gonna get through this really fast. The next book I have is Endgame: The Calling by James Frey. It's actually more gold, I know, but that's pretty much the yellowest book I had, so I decided to put that one on my list too. Also with this one, don't really remember what it's about. Obviously it's about some kind of game, but that's pretty much everything I know about it. And I like to keep it that way. The next book I have is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I also got the other two books to that series, so I just decided I have to start sometime with it. And it's kind of yellowish at the front at least. The spine not that much, but well, I couldn't do any better. Then the last two books, those are like really yellow. That's the kind of books we have to read at school. If we have to read classics for school, they always come in this size, looking like this. They all look the same, no differences at all, and yeah, you don't really want to read those in your spare time, I think, when you're out of school. But I decided to pick up two of these classics that I haven't read yet. So I got A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. You can also get these in this format in English, but I wanted to try this first in German because I know Shakespeare is not that easy to read, so I want to try this in German and hopefully I will enjoy it enough. Then the other book, the yellow books I got with the classic is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I don't think that one is actually that hard to read in English, but before I wanted to buy like a nice copy of it. I'm just gonna read the classic, well, school edition we have. It's not that they're actually that cheap. You might think like this small little booklet, hello kitty, this small little booklet wouldn't cost that much, but they actually still cost around 7, or it's like €5, this book here. And you can get some pretty decent paperbacks for €5, so they're not that cheap as you might think. Kitty! Come here, kitty. So now we have my cat coming. She likes to sit here. So that's it for my yellow February reading list. It's quite a short one, but I still hope I'm gonna go through most of these. I think I'm gonna read the 2 small ones because they are quick reads. I also really want to read Fire and Flood. I want to get through Landline. And I think Endgame sounds really cool too. I hope to get through this one too. And then if I still have enough time, I want to read Prettiest and The Fifth Wave. So I hope I'm also really gonna get through most of these books. And yeah. If you have read any of these books, especially I think if you have heard of this one, I would love to hear your comments on it. Because for the other ones I can really just go on Goodreads and see what you got. But that's one I haven't heard of on Bookstagram or on BookTube yet, so I would really like to know what you think about it. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon on one of my next videos. Bye!